that I need for this case. Thank you, Mr. Carter, for your cooperation.
Yeah, no problem. So, can I leave now?
I'm afraid not.
Why not? I told you everything I could remember.
Well, I'm afraid that's just it. Maybe you shouldn't have told me so much.
What do you mean? You think I did it, don't you? You can't be serious. I come in here today expecting to help you guys out with what I can remember, and you're accusing me of this? This atrocity?
One should never expect what is not certain, Mr. Carter. Your future is not set in stone. But then again, neither is your past.
Carter?
Thank you for being here on such short notice. I'm Detective Park, and I'm head of the homicide department. Now, let's jump into this, shall we? Mr. Field.
Carter. Call me Carter.
Mr. Carter, I assume you understand the level of seriousness that I, as well as my department, are taking toward this case, and therefore I ask of you to understand I don't care what to call you.
And I hope you understand that it seems to me like you and your department aren't taking this as seriously as you say you are. You're wasting your time asking me anything about the murder. I mean, that blow to the head really messed me up. I can't even remember who I was this morning, and now you're asking me to help you solve a murder?
Yes, I know it sounds like an absurd thing to ask of you right now, but that's what this morning session was for, to refresh your memory. We helped you so you could help us. And don't give me crap about your little memory loss thing. I've been well informed that you're quite capable of helping us in this situation. And besides, we all know that you want to help catch this person as much as we do. Now, am I right, or am I right, Mr. Carter? Okay then. Shall we get started?
Excuse me.
So, I understand that you have a couple questions for me.
Look, you already know I'm here. You know what my problem is? I can't even remember where I live, who my family is, where I work. For God's sake, I can't even remember my own name.
Well then, we should try to be as direct as possible then. Why don't we start with what you do remember?
I already told you. I can't remember anything.
Okay then, let's start with the simple stuff. Can you try to remember your name for me?
Don't you think I've tried to remember my name already? I told you. I can't remember anything. Now, I came here to get some answers. Alright? So are you going to give them to me, or am I just wasting my time?
Carter Fields.
What?
Your name. It's Carter Fields.
That's more like it. Carter Fields, eh? Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Carter Fields. got a nice tone to it. Carter Fields. What else you got?
You were born in Lancaster, California. You excelled greatly during high school, but became a Princeton dropout. Both your parents are deceased. You work downtown at a local chemical factory as a shift manager, and you have a nice little house right on 6329 Arrow Way. And you had yourself a very pretty girlfriend.
Girlfriend? Well, why didn't anyone tell me? She's probably worried sick about me.
I hate to tell you this, Mr. Fields, but I don't think she'll be asking around for you anytime soon.
What? Of course she will. Why wouldn't she?
She's dead, Mr. Fields.
So you're telling me that one person single-handedly took down the biggest drug dealer in the West out of high school?
Yep, she just left his body there and vanished.
Wow, man. This world just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Hey, so how are things between you and Sienna?
It's been going pretty good, actually. You could even say great. Why do you ask?
No reason.
Come on, you know I hate when you do that.
Do what?
You know what? How you always just bring something like this up and then act like there's no reason behind it.
Maybe this time I didn't have a reason.
Come on.
Alright. You got me. It's just that you guys don't look as happy as you guys used to.
Oh yeah? And what makes you say that?
You know, let's just forget I said anything.
It's too late for that, isn't it?
Just that, I don't know, it just seems like you two have been drifting apart from each other.
You're kidding me, right? I'll have you know that we're very happy with each other right now. In fact, I'm planning on proposing to her, and it would really mean a lot to me if my own best friend would support us instead of bringing us down.
You know I didn't mean anything like that, man. I was just trying to help you out by giving you an outside opinion. You're my best friend and all, I don't want to see you get hurt like that, you know? I was just trying to point out some minor flaws before it intensifies and gets bigger, that's all.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by intensifying?
Never mind, man. The only advice I could give you is that you should cherish her and love her as much as you can from now. You may never know. One day you might just wake up next to the old pillow where she used to rest her head at night. You'll wonder where she's gone. You'll reach over hoping to maybe feel the warmth of her body, but you'll be able to feel all the cold and empty sheets. And you'll just lay there and wondering, remembering that she's gone. And then wondering again about what happened between you two. And you may not realize it then and there, but one day you will. You'll see her somewhere, and she may not see you, but you'll definitely see her. You'll see her there, but you won't recognize her anymore. Not because she looks different, but because that isn't the girl you had once fallen in love with. And you'll know that those memories of you and her don't exist anymore. And you may even find yourself asking if any of that ever really existed. For you, time will have completely eroded. Reality will be forever lost among the sands because you'll never be able to distinguish what was real from what you wanted to happen. Just like you'll never be able to take a mound of salt and sugar and separate it into two separate piles. One with sugar and one with salt. You'll just be lost among your own thoughts until someone comes along from the darkness of confusion and shines a light of hope in order to bring you back to reality. And that'll be when you'll find yourself right back at where you started, in front of a mirror, with a stranger looking right back at you. do you mean dead? How? When?
A couple days ago, unfortunately. You see, she was home alone one night when somebody came in and attacked her. You were at the store at the time, but you ended up walking in on the attack. You tried to stop him, but he struck you on the head with the bat, which caused you to go out cold, leaving her defenseless.
Who was it that attacked her?
Well, that's the problem. The cops have no leads.
Who do you mean they got no leads? They're the freaking cops, for crying out loud. It's their profession. It's what they do. They go over, they find the suspect, they take him back, they put him in handcuffs. It's what they do.
I know this may be a lot to handle, Mr. Fields, but you need to calm down so we can figure this out.
I can't remember anything.
Here, maybe this will help.
What's this?
The cops found it at your house. They thought it might help with your mental rehabilitation. It's a box that we think are mementos of yours. They may be able to re-stimulate some of your lost memories.
Is this her?
Yes.
She's beautiful. Can I ask you something now, detective?
Sure, why not?
So, today in the morning at the therapy session, the psychiatrist...
Dr. Corsa?
Yeah, Dr. Corsa. Well, she explained to me how the mind works. She said that it's divided into two sections, the subconscious and the conscious. With the subconscious mind being over 30,000 times greater than the conscious mind. But here's the thing. Normally, we only have access to our conscious mind, which only tends to hold on to things like language, beloved memories, personality traits, etc. But our subconscious, on the other hand, now that's a different story. Our subconscious mind is like a vault. A vault filled with what, you ask? A vault filled with, things we never really paid much attention to. Things we never really even cared for. So we never stored them in our conscious memory banks. Instead, they were locked away in our subconscious. Not because we put them there, though, but because our mind, our subconscious, chose to put them there. These are not ordinary details, however. Just as this is not an ordinary vault. These details are from past events of our lives that, at the time, we paid no regard to. Details that we didn't even notice except for maybe a small glance as our eyes were wandering around. These details were not caught or retained by our conscious mind, as they did not seem of any importance to us at the time. Instead, our subconscious mind took a hold of these details and locked them away in the very recess of our minds. But for what purpose? Why would our minds see the need to lock away small details such as a stranger's eye color, an odd fun fact, or a car's license plate on a regular basis? We would never be able to remember, no matter how hard we tried. You got me.
Because, like I said before, our subconscious is a powerful resource. It's a lot smarter and stronger than our conscious mind. And so it's learned to pick out small, intricate details that we might need in the time of crisis. And so it locks them away from us until someone comes along and traps us in the corner. Or better said, a crisis, where they demand for this coveted but forgotten knowledge of ours. It is then in this time of peril that we are not only presented with the key to our subconscious, but also with a very important question.
And what's that?
Are we willing to share this information with the person trapping us in the corner?
Tell me, Sienna, what frightens you most? Knowing that your life rests in a stranger's hands? Or knowing that I'm not a stranger at all? Ah, not in the talking mood, I see? Well, that's okay. I didn't come here to have a conversation with you anyway. Instead, I'll just do all the talking. So why don't you just sit there and listen to your dear old Philip? Surprised, are we? Well, that's expected, seeing as you probably thought I was some psychopath under this mask, and not your boyfriend. Or should I say, ex-boyfriend. How could you? I thought you loved me! I thought you cared about me! But I guess I thought wrong. When were you gonna tell me that you were with Carter? My best friend. My brother almost! I was gonna propose to you today, you know. But you never showed up. So, naturally, I went looking for you. And can you believe the shock I got when I finally found you? Curled up in someone else's arms on the day that should have been the happiest day of my life? But did it matter to you? Of course not. You never thought twice about how this would affect me, did you? And now, look at what's become of us. Of you. Lying helpless on the floor with no one to...
open. Ah, you must be my 10 o'clock.
Actually, Doc, I'm from the police department downtown. Your 10 o'clock is actually the reason I'm here.
Did something happen?
Well, I don't want to bore you with the details, so let me just get straight to the point. We're in desperate search for a witness that may be able to help us with the case that we're having trouble with down at the station right now. So, I was asked to come down here and ask for your cooperation.
But I haven't witnessed anything, let alone know anything about any recent crimes. I don't see how I could help you.
Well, it's not entirely you that we're interested in, Doctor, but instead your soon-to-be-here patient.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, officer, but the patient I'm expecting, he won't be of much use to you, seeing that his memory is completely
gone? Yes, we realize this, but that's actually what makes him the perfect asset to our case.
And why is that?
Like I said before, Doc, I don't want to bore you with details, seeing as your patient is about to arrive. But what I can tell you is the role you're going to be playing in this investigation.
My role?
Yes. Your job is plain and simple. All you have to do is give your patient his identity. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything you'll need, like his background info, family members, relations to others, is all in this folder.
Okay, but I have all this information right here.
I understand that, but I've been told to tell you that you are to disregard any and all information that you've received prior to this meeting.
But this file, it doesn't look anything like the one I have of him. It's almost like you're making me tell him that he's completely...
Just do as you've been told, and we won't have any problems. Will we, Doctor? Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other business to attend to. Thank you for your time. It was a real pleasure.
You too.
Oh, and you did receive that box we sent you, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Good. Use it wisely. Excuse me.
Well, I think I've gotten everything that I need for this case. Thank you, Mr. Carter, for your cooperation.
Yeah, no problem. So, can I leave now?
I'm afraid not.
Why not? I told you everything I could remember.
Well, I'm afraid that's just it. Maybe you shouldn't have told me so much.
What do you mean? You think I did it, don't you? You can't be serious. I come in here today expecting to help you guys out with what I can remember, and you're accusing me of this? This atrocity?
One should never expect what is not certain, Mr. Carter. Your future is not set in stone. But then again, neither is your past.
Enough with the mumble jumble, man. Am I just a witness now, or am I being labeled a suspect?
Mr. Carter, there's no easy way of explaining this to you. But I could start by saying that this is a very complicated case. And by complicated, of course I mean for you. You really have no clue of what you put yourself into, don't you?
What do you mean? Of course I do. My girlfriend is dead, and my memory is gone due to my psychotic best friend. Simple as that.
And there you go again, running your damn mouth. Getting yourself into deeper trouble than you already are.
Deeper than I already am. What kind of trouble can I be in by telling you what I know about my memory?
I think it's time I let you in our investigation, seeing as you've already pleaded guilty to 2 murders.
2 murders? What are you talking about?
Please, let me finish. As I was saying, it's time you learn the truth. You're not Carter Fields. To be honest, no one seems to know who you really are. Some of our undercover agents were out on duty one day when they happened to come across you. Unconscious, beaten, rolled up in a ditch. They approached you and searched for any kind of identification, but you had nothing on you. So they decided to take you to a hospital to run some tests, get you all fixed up, but they couldn't find anything. And while they were doing this, you were in a coma for about a week until you finally came to. But not even you could tell them who you were. And that's when the homicide took place. A couple murdered in cold blood in their own home with no trace or witness of an attacker. Now, you could probably imagine the despair and feeling of injustice among the relatives of the deceased when we had to tell them that the case was completely cold. It was a horrible feeling among us at the department. But that's when someone hatched an idea. What if we could use the drifter, the nobody, as a martyr for the crime? And from this idea, hatched a plan, and then action. Seeing as your mind was a perfect clean slate for the situation, we set out to make you believe that you were a big part of this investigation. We made you believe that you are our main witness to the crime, with the help of the excellent Dr. Corsa. But here's the best part. You practically framed yourself. You were the one who created false memories for miscellaneous details that we fed you. All we did was create a background story and give you a box of crap and just waited for your little mind to make something up. Think of it this way. We basically handed you a blank jigsaw puzzle, and your little subconscious painted it with details. It was almost like you were creating a dream for you to tell us. Then, you were the one who even did us the favor of putting this puzzle together for us. But I gotta say, that was a very interesting love story that you were able to come up with. I don't think I like the ending though. It's not the end. But you're still wondering if we could pin this whole thing on you as a murderer. Well, we were able to fabricate fake evidence from your little story that you told us. So now, we'll be able to use it against you. But there's still one thing left to do. Watch this. Mr. Carter, are you aware of what you just recounted to us? I guess not. Well, let me inform you. You've given us details of not only the attack, but of the attacker's motives that only the attacker could possibly know of. Thank you. But, seeing as this is a just society with fair trial, we'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. I have here some pieces of evidence that you mentioned in your little story. The first thing I have is this note. Now tell me, how would you know what this note said if it was between Sienna and Philip, whom I recall you saying was the attacker? Our second piece of evidence that we have is a mask. It looks a whole lot like the one that you described, doesn't it, Mr. Carter? Can you guess where we found it? At your home, stashed in the back of your closet. And lastly, there's our third piece of evidence, which is a verbal statement from you. Now, seeing that you had recently lost your memory, you want to go see a doctor in order to try to regain your memory. And during this session, our records indicate that you were made aware of the victims' names, which are Sienna and Carter, but the name Philip was not at all mentioned. Instead, you decided to keep the name Carter for yourself and give the name Philip to your killer. Now what does this tell us? That either you have a bad case of mistaken identity, or your subconscious was trying to tell you that your name is Philip and you're responsible for this double homicide. It's like you mentioned earlier. Our subconscious has a way of bringing up lost but important details. Anyways, it doesn't matter now, seeing as we have solid evidence to put you behind bars. But like I said before, I'll give you a chance to explain yourself. Let the record show that the suspect does not deny any of the claims that were just made against him.
You're a monster. Can you treat me like this? Treat me like a rat found in the street? Putting me in this demented game of yours just to please others?
Look, don't take this personally. Sometimes, we just have to do what's right for others. Besides, what's worse? Killing 2 people in cold blood. Or twisting the truth a little bit in order for justice to be served. Good day, Mr. Carter.